The temperatures would be below zero normally. Today it's 25 above. And normally we'd have shore fast ice starting to form that would break up the wave actions and not allow the waves to come in. But we have hundreds of miles of open water to the west of us. And anytime we get a west blow, the waves, the swells start building up, the tide comes up, and wave action is more intense and just erodes the heck out of our beaches over here.
Barrow, Alaska, a village at the very north of the United States. Administrative center for the North Slope Borough, 230,000 square kilometers of Arctic tundra and mountains bordering the Arctic Sea.
There's no question to us that live up here, born and raised up here, climate change is real. I mean, we're living it. We see it. We feel it. We have anxieties. We have uncertainties. It's creating stress on us as a people because we are not immune like any other human race. We have a fear of the unknown, the uncertainty.
The North Slope Borough has experienced how changing snowfall, changing temperature and salinity in the sea have affected fishing and hunting. Travel on the tundra is much more difficult and dangerous than it used to be, and the absence of sea ice and the thawing of permafrost are serious threats to the very existence of the village of Barrow.
The bank we have over here is a good example of the erosion. The permafrost is melting right underneath it. This used to be a huge hill that used to go down 50 feet or so, and it's all eroded in the last 15 years to what it is now. The hill is about less than half of what it was. And the problem is the waves come in and expose the permafrost underneath and washes all that away. It melts, and then the banks keep washing off and erosion. And you can see how close the homes are to where pretty soon we're going to have to move them because there's no protection here. We can't possibly cover everything here because it's too expensive.
The effects of thawing permafrost on infrastructure and housing are seen all around the Arctic. Changing sea temperatures and sea ice, changing salinity in the sea, all have effects on fishing and hunting. Changing snow patterns and snow extent affect, for instance, the reindeer or caribou. Reductions in the thickness and duration of freshwater ice will mean significant losses to northern winter road networks. Changes in the dynamics of river ice, such as in the generation of ice jam floods, will require major adjustments to hydroelectric operations.
People are adaptable in the Arctic. They have always adapted, and that's one of their cultural toolbox is adaptation to changing conditions. Now what we see is that the conditions are changing beyond what they're used to adapting to, which will be a challenge.
The Swipa project is conducted by some of the world's leading experts on the Arctic cryosphere. The project was established in 2008 by the Arctic Council as a follow-up to the 2004 Arctic Climate Impact Assessment. The project will be completed in 2011.
Well, I think when the Swipa is released, I think the global community is now going to recognize the overall importance of the various cryospheric components of the Arctic, how they'll have both intra-Arctic, so inside Arctic consequences, and as well extra-Arctic or global climate consequences.
The consequences of the changes in the Arctic cryosphere are not confined to the Arctic region. The consequences are global. The fact that the Greenland ice sheet is losing mass at an accelerating rate is contributing to new forecasts for the global sea level rise in the future.
The IPCC report from 2007 reported a mean value of the sea level rise of 40 centimeters during the next century. But already now, a few years after, we are reporting values of 1 meter of sea level rise during the next century. So there's truly been a dramatic shift of our understanding of sea level rise in the future.
The changes in the Arctic cryosphere have other long-term implications that are of global significance. The overall trend of less sea ice and less snow cover means less reflection of the radiation from the sun, meaning even more warming of land and ocean. The enormous amounts of carbon and methane locked in the ground within or beneath permafrost could be released to the atmosphere and trigger even more global warming. The changing salinity and rising temperatures in the sea may cause a slowing down of the so-called thermohaline circulation, which means that the energy transport in the global ocean currents will be affected. All components of the cryosphere are changing, and they are doing so now. Also, they seem to be doing so at an accelerating rate. A changing cryosphere has major implications for the people living in the Arctic, and therefore the human dimension is a very important part of the project.
So we will understand the processes that's taking place in the cryosphere as a physical system, but we will also understand how the changes affects the humans that live there. This will give us a complete picture of the complexity, including the human societies or human beings and cultures.
You know, we are the bellwether. We are facing the brunt of climate change up here. We live it. And we can just hope and pray that things are going to turn out all right for us. And this is a beautiful place, a beautiful land that we've had for thousands of years. And we want to see it continue for a few thousand more.